Hi, everyone. Lisa here from Pretty Fabulous. I know I said I'd go live today at noon, but I think I told everyone that we have to look for a new apartment because they're not going to renew our lease. And so they wanted to come by this morning and do stuff. And they said it would take like 30 minutes, but they literally came at 9 and never left. So it like threw off my whole day. And I mean, I guess I could have said something, but my number two strength for Clifton Strengths is harmony. So I really don't like conflict. So I just like waited in misery and silence until they finally left. Anyways, threw off my whole day. I am here. We're going to still release these today. These are desk calendars. So I was saying the other day that I really love my desk calendars, and I don't know why I've never made any. And I also made them square so they could double as Instagram social media posts, or I guess that's it. I don't know what else is square. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. So you can see this. So it's a little different this year because I know usually I put these in Adobe InDesign, but I just want to put these together as like a last minute thing. So in here, you're going to have three different sets of files. So you're going to have all of these as JPEGs, and I know they're in totally random order. Don't worry, they're numbered. So you can have January, you have February, you have March, you have April, you have May, and you can't edit them. I mean, you could, I guess, load them into Canva or Photoshop and add your own logo to them if you want, but it's kind of like the annual at a glance. There's not a lot to edit because it's the month as it is. But you have June, you have July, we have August, we have September, we have October, November, and then at the top we have December, because for whatever reason, sometimes it thinks that the 1-2 for 12 comes before. I don't know what's going on, but these are all uploaded to Thrivecart. They're already there. They're waiting for you. You can download them right now and start using them. I also, in case you wanted to get these printed, I left you instructions for both a professional printer that will do this exact same size that you see here. And I also gave you instructions on how to DIY these at home if you wanted to just make them for yourself, or you felt like you had a good enough printer that could do it. And I did give you a printer recommendation because I think they should be cardstock. Well, obviously they have to be cards. If it was regular paper, it's just going to fall over, but they should be cardstock. And I gave you recommendations on a printer that I think does really good printing with cardstock, like a back to front printer. And I also gave you buy links for purchasing these wood blocks. So I think the wood blocks are nicer. Again, if you look at sugar paper, this is where this came from. It has this obnoxiously huge, massive, large stand for your calendar, which I shouldn't even say that. I get it is pretty, even though I say it's obnoxiously large. I think that's maybe because I'm a minimalist, so I want like less stuff on my desk or anywhere. But those are all available to you. So these are all JPEGs. And then the next thing is over here. These are all the quotes that go with it. And when I say go with it, you could add a quote on the back. You don't have to, but they're matching, right? So if January is pink, the quote is pink. If February is purple, the quote is purple, etc. So the only thing is I made these in Adobe XD. I don't know if anyone has ever used Adobe XD. I'm pretty sure everybody knows I am not a Canva person. I don't know why. I just dislike it very strongly. I know everyone loves it. It's like the way to go, and that's where the whole world is moving. I even paid for a workshop the other day on Canva, and I still was like, I'm not really feeling it. So anyways, this is Adobe XD. This is January, February, March, April, May, June, etc. They have little labels over here. So it's kind of like an artboard. If you use Adobe Illustrator, you will probably like Adobe XD. So Adobe XD is included and free with your Adobe Creative Cloud membership if you already have one of those. I was using it because, as you know, I'm working on the web design. And so best practice is to create a mock-up of your website in Adobe XD and then use that design, export all of your images, and then start making that in Squarespace or WordPress or whatever you use, or Wix. So how do you edit these? So it's super easy. All you have to do is double click on any of these. So where it says positivity always wins, you can say, I don't know, happiness or whatever always wins. Now, this is a little different. So over here on the right, you're going to see the sizes for the fonts. So it's hard because I kept looking at the left or at the top, which is kind of normal, but in Photoshop, they have moved the text over to the right as well. So here we can change it manually. So I could put in 123 and that's going to make it smaller. Over here for fonts, I can choose all of my fonts. Now, the only difference here too is you don't get a preview of your fonts like you do in InDesign because it's really not a text heavy kind of application. This is usually used to create user interfaces and user experience design. So you'll see if you look for Adobe XD templates, you will actually see a lot of mock-ups of apps like mobile apps or website design. But you can use it for social media too. So these are all perfect 1080s. So let's say I don't want to fiddle around with, putting in, I'm going to guess like 142 might be a better fit, right? Like this will take forever. So over here, when you hover over any of the text, it has this little white arrow at the bottom. And when the arrow or white circle, and when the arrows like have a double like up and down arrow, and I pull this down, it makes it bigger. And when I push it up, it makes it smaller. Usually in Photoshop, you have to pull the corners, but this one, you just pull that, and then you can move this around on this artboard wherever you want, or jump it over to another artboard. Doesn't really matter. And same thing here. So each of these words are separate, like all the different fonts that you see. And then if you want to change the color, so maybe you just don't like the pink or you want something else, over here, when I have this selected, I can come over here to the fill, and I can go to the eyedropper tool. And let's say I want to pick out purple, or for this one, I can go ahead and move the slider and pick something else, or I can enter a hex code down here. So those are different ways to change the color of the fonts. Now, this design over here, I just pasted in here for you. It is a PNG image. So this one you could get rid of totally if you don't like it. You could just hit the delete button or whatever, and it's gone. So you could put your own border on here or something else. And honestly, I am not that well versed in Adobe XD. I just started using it, but I do want to learn Adobe XD more than I want to learn Canva. So that's why it's over here instead of in Canva. Now, how do you export all of these so you can get them? So two things. One, you already have them, so you don't have to worry. This is an XD file only if you want to edit this file. So when it says quotes for the back, you can see over here, if I open these with preview, you're going to see that these are, I don't know why that one opened separately, but these are all, here's January, here's March, April, June, July, August, September. So you're going to have all of these anyway as JPEGs. And again, these are square 1080 by 1080. So you could post these to Instagram right now if you want. I believe Square works on Facebook too. So let's say you've made some changes and now you want to use the ones that you have like edited. So all you have to do is go over here to File, and you're going to go to Export, and you're going to say All Artboards. And then this is a little confusing. So let's put this into a new folder. So we'll just say test folder. All right. So the folder is empty. It's going to ask you if you want it JPEG, PNG, SVGs, PDF. We just want JPEGs. And don't worry, it'll be an individual JPEG for each item. And then quality, we're just going to leave it at 100%. And then export size. So this was a little confusing. And I think this is because for graphic design that you're making for a website, I've seen people download this as 3x. But this is already 1080 by 1080. There's no reason to 3x it. You could just leave it as 1x. Like pretty much you can just leave all the defaults. Or I should say, I think you can leave all the defaults. Your defaults might be different than my defaults. And then you're just going to click export all artboards. Looks like nothing happened. Sometimes Adobe just does it. I don't know why they can't just give you a confirmation like, hey, it's done. Or maybe people find that annoying. I don't know. So here we are in our test folder. And now we can see there are all of our artboards. Let me try to open them inside of here. So that is how you can edit your Adobe XD file, which I'm sure you're like, I don't even know. I asked my friend today, I was like, can you edit these? She's like, I've never even heard of Adobe XD. So So if you haven't heard of it, don't worry. It's an editable file. It's just an option. You don't have to do that. So what did you get today? You got a lot of different things. So let me go ahead and remove this. You have, oh, here we go, Nancy. I never used it. Yeah, I never used it either until like a couple days ago. So don't worry if you don't know how to use it. It probably happens to everybody. I just can't. I know you're like, just go on Canva. I don't know why. I just am resisting Canva. I might change my mind by the end of the year. We'll see. Otherwise, everything is going to be in XD. So what am I trying to say? And, honestly, I think XD is a really good skill set to have because Adobe XD is, you see like so many, or maybe I just see them because I've been doing XD tutorials on YouTube. And you'll see people saying, I taught myself how to do XD or be a user interface designer or user experience designer. And now I'm making six figures. So I still think it's like a good skill to have. It's always better to have skills, I think, than Canva. Because right now, Canva skills are more associated with not a special skill. You know what I mean? It's like everybody can do Canva, which is good. That's the point of Canva. You don't need any special training or have to know anything about design. You can just do it. And I'm going off on a tangent now about XD. Okay, what did you get today? You got a tutorial on XD you probably didn't want. You have 12 monthly calendars, like cards. You can print those out. You can use those as social media, or you can just sell them as JPEGs. The other thing you got were quotes that match it with like the style with the dots and the little metallic foil dots. And you can edit those if you want inside of Adobe XD, because that's the way I set it up. You do have an Adobe XD file. If you have Adobe Creative Cloud, Adobe XD is included. If you don't, I believe it's like $9.99 to use, or you can do a trial. So that's a wrap. And I hope everyone's having a great and fabulous day. It's 7:30 here. I'm going to go have some dinner. And yeah, I hope everyone's staying cool. I know it's really, really hot out everywhere. You can see I was only out for a few minutes and my hair is like dying. So I just can't stop talking. All right. I will see you later. Bye.